Hello to everyone in TV land. This is Focus on Liberia online television, and you are listening to the Focus on Liberia daily news. I am Gwendolyn Dorado, your presenter. I bring you the headlines. Supreme Court of Liberia instructs legislators seeking to remove Speaker Kofa to return to the main house chamber and conduct their affairs within the bounds of law and due process. International Monetary Fund resident representative in Liberia emphasizes the Bretton Woods Organization's commitment to supporting Liberia's economic development. National Elections Commission is considering early participation preparations for the 2029 presidential and legislative elections, ensuring a more organized, efficient, and participatory process. Away from home, a lightning strike at a refugee camp in Uganda has killed 13 children and one adult, police says. These plus many more coming up on the daily news. Now the news in details. The Supreme Court of Liberia has instructed legislators seeking to remove Speaker J. Fanati Kofa to return to their main house chamber and conduct their affairs within the bounds of law and due process. During a conference presided over by Associate Justice Yomi Wese, Councillor H. Vani Sherman, representing the anti-Kofa bloc, considered that due process for the Speaker's removal has not yet been initiated. Sherman acknowledged that without formal proceedings, Speaker Kofa retains his position, making it premature for him to seek a prohibition against his colleagues. Representing Kofa were Councillor Serenius Cephas and former Associate Justice Kabina Janet. They argued for due process in line with Article 49 of the Constitution. Speaking to reporters at the Temple of Justice, Representative for the family said they will initiate the due process for the removal of the Speaker in joint chamber of the legislature. The International Monetary Fund resident representative in Liberia, Joel Okuki, emphasizes the Bretton Woods Organization's commitment to supporting Liberia's economic development, noting that the IMF is a long-standing partner of Liberia, having been a member since 1962. He spoke about the organization's vital role in Liberia's economic framework, with its efforts focused on promoting macroeconomic stability, which is essential for fostering a conducive environment for investment. He adds that the IMF engages with Liberia in key areas, providing policy advice, program engagement, and sector reform. The organization collaborates closely with Liberian authorities and other stakeholders to discuss pertinent economic issues, which helps the IMF formulate tailored recommendations that are essential for the country's development, addressing specific challenges and promoting effective policies. Okuki highlights that a key aspect of the IMF's support involves capacity building, both at the institutional and human capacity levels, to empower Liberia to design and successfully implement its own economic policies. He says the IMF engagement is consensual financial support, which led to the approval of a US $210 million extended credit facility arrangement for Liberia in September 2024, which is intended to support the implementation of the Liberian government's arrest agenda, a strategic framework aimed at addressing key economic challenges and promoting growth through 2027. The 40-month financing package is designed not only to provide immediate support, but also to catalyze additional external financing from international financial institutions and development partners. In a significant development, several anti-corruption institutions in Liberia have launched an investigation into allegations made by the STARS group of companies regarding irregularities in the Liberia Telecommunications Authority bidding process. The inquiry follows serious concerns raised by STARS, mainly related to the Cyber Security Framework Development Awareness and Orientation Project. STAR's complaint specifically highlights issues surrounding the fairness and transparency of the evaluation process, despite fulfilling all requirements outlined in the request for expression of interest and the request for proposal. STARS claims it was unexpectedly disqualified due to alleged technical non-compliance cited by the LTA. To address the issues raised, the LTA, according to internal sources, the current leadership at the Telecommunication Authority has sought to bypass the bidding process by requesting a non-objection for a consultant who was never part of the bidding and is expected to undertake tasks that essentially mirror the terms of reference outlined in the RFP. In light of these developments, STARS has urged the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission investigate. That's the Liberia Anti-Corruption, the Center for Transparency and Accountability, and the PCC to investigate the bidding and contract award process thoroughly. Following STAR's complaint, Central, the PCC and the LACC confirmed receipt of the complaint. Central has pledged to initiate an inquiry, while the LCC has already commenced its investigation and intends to release its findings soon. However, the PCC has acknowledged the complaint but has not provided a specific timeline for its investigation. The National Elections Commission is considering early preparations for the 2029 presidential and legislative elections, ensuring a more organized, efficient, and participatory process. The next early 2029 preparation aims to improve the morale from the 2023 presidential and legislative elections in Liberia, which local and international observers widely acclaimed as free, fair, and credible. To achieve this, NEC Executive Director Mr. Anthony Semwe has highlighted certain activities it must focus on during the period. He cited periodic redistribution of electoral boundaries as necessary in any representative system where single-member districts are used. The NEC Executive Director highlighted the conduct of electoral constituency boundary delimitation in compliance with the Constitution and the electoral legal and regulatory framework of Liberia as a key electoral activity to implement. He cited further the development of a new 6-year strategic plan. Mr. Simwe argued that the plan will guide the implementation of all roadmaps in the electoral cycle, a recurrent activity usually undertaken by the NEC every 6 years. The Banking Institute of Liberia, Incorporated, in collaboration with the Liberia Chamber of Commerce, has successfully conducted a one-day roundtable dialogue. The dialogue was aimed at enhancing investors' confidence in Liberia, held under the theme Building Investors' Confidence in Liberia, Enhancing Legal Protection to Strengthen the Business Environment and Attract Investment Capital, held on October 31st at the Monrovia City Hall Ballroom. The event brought together key stakeholders, including government officials, business leaders, and legal and financial experts, to discuss effective strategies for improving the country's investment climate through collaborative discussions, participants addressed critical issues and proposed actionable solutions to foster a more secure and attractive investment environment. Assistant Professor Rachel S. Panther, Director General of the Banking Institute of Liberia, provided an overview of the event and explained the significance of uniting stakeholders from the corporate and legal sectors to brainstorm and collaboratively seek solutions to the challenges confronting the Liberian investment environment. Professor Patton noted the roundtable is a critical opportunity for dialogue to foster a more conducive atmosphere for investment in Liberia. President Joseph Yema Boakai has nominated Anthony Sewell as the Director General of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. The appointment is subject to confirmation by the Liberian Senate. In a related development, President Boakai has officially relieved Colonel Abraham Krumah, Hassan Fadiga, and Wawu Kuo of their respective positions as Director General, Deputy Director General for Operations, and Deputy Director General for Administration of the LDEA. The decision follows the report submitted by the Ministry of Justice on an investigation conducted on the events that transpired at the LDEA headquarters on June 3rd that led to their suspension. President Boakai reiterated that the acts of disorder and chaos that took place at the headquarters of the LDEA were unacceptable. He emphasized that such actions jeopardize public peace and weaken the government's efforts in combating illicit drugs. In light of the developments, President Boakai is calling on all appointed officials within the government to adhere to the highest standards of diligence, commitment, integrity, professionalism, and loyalty in the service to the nation. The National Fishery and Agriculture Authority has successfully concluded a 3-day media training workshop focused on strengthening media literacy and promoting ethical journalism in fishery and aquaculture reporting across Liberia. Held in collaboration with the World Bank, the training was part of the Liberia Sustainable Management of Fisheries project and aimed to equip journalists with the tools to report accurately and objectively on the fisheries sector, one of Liberia's most critical and complex industries. The training began on Thursday, October 30 and ended November 20 at the NAFA's Technical Building Coast Guard Base, Bushra Island. Speaking at the close of the workshop, William Y. Bowie, Deputy Director General of Technical Services at NAFA, emphasized the importance of accurate, unbiased reporting in an industry that directly affects both the livelihoods of local fishermen and the sustainable management of marine resources. The training covered 4 key areas: fishery management and governance, value addition on fish and fish products, supporting for aquaculture, and project management. Each of these elements was designed to give journalists a comprehensive understanding of the sector's dynamics and challenges, enabling them to report responsibly and avoid sensationalism. President Joseph Boakai has appointed Jackson J. Pay as officer in charge and Joseph Boy Cooper as interim deputy director of operations of the Liberia Refugee Repatriation and Resettlement Commission effective immediately. The newly appointed interim leadership is entrusted with management the operations of the Liberia Refugee Repatriation and Resettlement Commission during this transitional period. Their mandate includes ensuring the institution's stability and functionality, addressing the needs of refugees and repatriated individuals, and maintaining the Commission's critical services to the public. Additionally, the interim leadership is expected to work closely with the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission to support its investigation into recent administrative matters. President Boakai emphasized that the interim leadership must exemplify the highest standards of ethical conduct, reflecting the government's dedication to restoring public trust and fostering a culture of integrity across public institutions. The president urged Pei and Cooper and their team to navigate this period with diligence, professionalism, and an unwavering commitment to the nation's interests. Away from Liberia, a lightning strike at a refugee camp in Uganda has killed 13 children and one adult, police says. The victims were attending a church service on Saturday evening when the lightning struck. Another 34 people were injured. The incident occurred at Palibeg refugee settlement in the northwest of the country. The area has recently seen heavy rains with thunder and lightning. Katuma Ruzoki, spokesperson for Uganda police, told BBC News that the adult killed on Saturday was 21 years old. Mr. Ruzoki did not reveal the exact ages of the children who died. Palabeg refugee settlement is home to more than 80,000 refugees and asylum seekers, according to the UN's refugee agency. Many are from neighboring South Sudan. 4 years ago, lightning killed 10 children in the city of Arua, also in northwestern Uganda. The children were struck while taking a break from a game of football. That does it for the Focus on Liberia Daily News. I do a recap of the headlines. Supreme Court of Liberia instructs legislators seeking to remove Speaker Kofa to return to the main House chamber and conduct their affairs within the bounds of law and due process. International Monetary Fund resident representative in Liberia emphasizes the Bretton Woods Organization's commitment to supporting Liberia's economic development. National Elections Commission is considering early preparations for the 2029 presidential and legislative elections, ensuring a more organized, efficient, and participatory process. And away from home, a lightning strike at a refugee camp in Uganda has killed 13 children and one adult, police says. On behalf of the management and staff of Focus on Liberia, many thanks to our listeners and viewers. We urge that you keep following us and share our videos. My name is Gwendolyn Dorado. I presented.